Welcome to Sports on Tap. We're at Z's Cream and Bean, 2706 Boston Road in Hinckley, Ohio. I'm Rob Trump. We have Josh Jeffy, Brent Barczyk.
Ayo.
Ed is on his way up here.
We're Ed Dickless at the moment.
We sure are. And we have a very special guest, head coach of the Brunswick Blue Devils basketball team. Coach Joe Mackey is joining us today. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, the season ended with a loss to St. Ed's in the playoffs, but you had it was kind of an up-and-down season in a very tough conference. Why don't you talk a little bit about how the season went for you guys this last year?
Well, I think you said it best. There's a little bit up and down, but that was to be expected with what we had coming back. We had two varsity guys basically that returned with any kind of experience. The good news was those two guys were all conference players, one of which Ryan Badowski had already signed a Division I scholarship to Longwood. So we knew we had a couple good pieces, but we had a lot of guys without experience. And when you play the schedule that we do and the league that we do, we knew we'd have our ups and downs, which we did. But in the end, we caught fire down the stretch. Our guys who lacked experience obviously grew up a little bit, and we finished the season very well. So it was a great way to close out the year.
Now, during the season, what were some players that maybe stepped up that you didn't think would step up during the season? And talk a little bit about the players you had that are probably graduating now and players that are coming up.
Well, like I said, we beginning of the year we kind of relied on Ryan Badowski and Zach Parker. They were all conference guys, and Zach obviously with his three-point shooting and Ryan his overall game. So, we kind of relied heavily on them to start the year off, and that's probably why we were as inconsistent as we were. But the guys that are here tonight, Eric Bullock and Nate Armagas, I thought really came on. Eric early played really well for us. Went through a tough stretch in the middle of the season, but that's what guys do when you don't have that experience. And then towards the end, he picked it back up. And then Nate had injury after injury to start the year. He started off, I think he missed probably 6 or 7 games. And then he came back. Then he got injured again. Then he came back, and he finished probably as strong as any of our guys. In the post at the end of the season. So those two guys, Jason Akulovich was our point guard at the start of the year. We kind of moved him off the ball towards the end, moved Ryan Moore. He was another junior that I thought played very well for us. And, then we had some other guys really step up. We had a senior who never played basketball, never made our team before, Anthony Slane, center, that had some good games for us. And it was just one of those things where Ryan and Zach, everybody knew that they were going to be there, but in order for us to have the season we did and get 16 wins and be one of 32 teams left in the state, we needed these other guys to step up, and I thought they did just that.
Talk about your conference. I mean, it's very good.
Yeah.
It's a tough conference. It's well known for being one of the toughest, if not in Northeast Ohio, the state. How has that been going for you guys, and kind of increases your level of play?
Yeah, it's tough, to be honest with you. When you look at our team, and we don't have those Division I athletes that Shaker has, that Garfield has. We haven't had the program like Menor. We've been really good. I think we're well respected in Northeast Ohio, but we haven't been probably elite like Menor has been. So those three come to mind right away. And then Medina was loaded this year. And then Strongsville obviously struggled, but they got everybody back next year. So the league is regarded, not just in the area, but in the state, as one of the best, if not the best conference. It's a grind. I mean, it really is. And it's tough for our kids because we've shown we can beat anybody, but we could also lose any game on any given night to those teams. And it just makes us that much better come tournament time. It gets us prepared for it. It's an honor that they asked us to play in this league. When I first took over the program, it was no way in the world would they ask us to be in the top division of a great league like that. So we feel it's an honor to be in the league. We don't back down from competition, and we look forward to it.
Now, is it tough to get consistent playing, the good teams? Because, you could go on a 3-game winning streak. It seemed like this year you went on a little bit of a winning streak,
yeah,
but then you went a little bit of a losing streak. How tough is that?
Well, it's real hard because when you play Shaker and then you play Menor and you play Garfield back to back to back, it's difficult to put 2 or 3 wins in a row. Unfortunately for our guys, we lost a few this year in a row, but we were able to kind of stem the tide a little bit with our seniors. Thought they did some good things for us, but it's a tough league. I mean, it really is a tough league, but it's one that I think prepares you for the long run. I think Eric and Nate and our guys will be that much better next year for playing in this league.
Now, sorry, Rob. You've been coaching at Brunswick for quite a while. Rob and I were freshmen in high school when you started. You were very young at the time. Looking back on it, how, in your opinion, do you think the Brunswick basketball program is? I mean, it started when you came in, wasn't well known, and like you said, it's come a long way. How do you feel that it's going?
Well, I think that's a tough question because I think from where it was to where it is now, and I don't want to. It's hard to toot your own horn. I like to give the credit to the kids, from you guys all the way to these guys that are sitting next to me. I mean, it's all about the kids. I do think our program is very well respected. I think we're probably top 10, top 15 teams in Northeast Ohio year in and year out. I think we have a great deal of respect from the area coaches, that's kind of how I judge our team and our coaches, is what other coaches think about us and our program. And we're very well respected. We're not where we want to be, and I'd like in my last, 18 years, so I'll probably go another 15. I'd like in those last 15 to become elite, like Menor was for those years, and it all starts with building your youth. We're trying. It's not really a basketball town. It's never been a basketball town, but I still think that there's an opportunity to try to get to that elite level, and that's, if you're not striving to be elite, then you shouldn't be in this business. So we're hoping in my next 15 years or so, if they'll keep me around long enough, that we can catch those Menors and Shakers in those schools consistently, so we're not pulling upsets. Teams have to upset us.
Now, looking back at this season, we did have, when I say we, I help out the basketball team
you
here.
You are a part of the program.
So when I say we, it's Brunswick.
Themselves, Brent.
Yeah, I know. But anyways, there's some big wins this year, like over Shaker and stuff. Going back on the season, what was that biggest win that you thought, we had that win over Westlake in the tournament?
I would say regular season, the Shaker game, because we had really gone through that stretch. We lost 3 overtime games in a row, which hasn't happened to me in my 18 years. Just maybe 2 overtime games, losing 2. We've been really good in close games in my career, and that's probably why our teams have been good. But we lost 3 of those, and it kind of looked like we were losing the kids a little bit. And then we beat Garfield, and then, like you guys said, it's hard to get a sustained winning streak when you got to play Shaker and all these other teams. But we went into Shaker. They were number 1 in the area, I think number 3 or 4 in the state at the time, and it was their senior night, and really the cards were stacked against us. And to come away with a win there, we led 20-2 to start the game. Then they took the lead. I think their first lead was with 51 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, it was really late in the game.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Could this possibly be happening? But our kids really gained their composure, and Ryan hit a big basket late in the game. And then that was probably the thrill of the regular season. Not just because we beat Shaker, but to see the kids in the locker room and how excited they were. And everywhere from Brent to our managers. My son was in the locker room, and seeing his face that he just couldn't believe that we knocked off Shaker. And then obviously in the tournament, that Westlake win was huge because we've been to district play, I think, all but 4 of my years as a coach, but we hadn't got to that next step since '99, back to the lead, the field of 32. So I thought that Westlake game was a huge step for our program.
With so many great players also in your conference, what's probably the one player that sticks out in your mind that you're just like, wow, incredible talent?
It's Issa, probably. Issa Ahmad. I thought we did a really good job against him the second time around, but the first time I think he was 11 for 13 from the floor and 10 for 10 from the line. He's getting offers from Kentucky, everybody, and to be honest, it's just not him. Garfield has a guy going to Ohio State. They got another guy being recruited by Wisconsin, and just up and down our league, it's just very tough. But like I said, to win 16 games with the team that we had, with the lack of experience that we had, says a lot about these kids. And not too many times at the end of the season you look in the mirror and you can smile. I didn't smile after we lost the Eds, but the next morning when I woke up, I couldn't have been more proud of our kids and their effort in the tournament, and really all season long.
How tough is it year in and year out with the different talent you have? You have to adjust offensively and defensively. How tough has that been for you over the last few years?
Just we some coaches believe that this is our philosophy, this is what we're going to do, and they play that philosophy regardless of what they have. Most college coaches do that, but high school coach, you got to adjust to what you have. Next year, we've got we'll probably be a little bit more inside oriented. We're hoping Nate progresses, offensively, and Eric can score inside and out. So I don't think we'll shoot as many 3-pointers as we did. I will tell you that from this year to next season. But it's going to be a challenge. But it's a challenge every year. But I think next year with losing Ryan and Zach, I think everybody thinks in the league we play in that There's no way they can finish 500. They're going to be this. We've already heard it. I've heard it during the season. People would ask me, "What are you going to do next year?" And we weren't even through with this year yet.
Yeah.
But if the day that I lose the competitive edge and the will to try to figure out what we're going to do in that challenge, then I'll just resign. I'm excited about next season to figure out what kind of team we're going to put out there, and it's just to me it's exciting to take different talent every year and mold them together.
No, I think you've done an amazing job. And you guys have any last questions for Coach Mackey?
What was it like beating Strongsville 3 times in a year? Probably the biggest rival for Brunswick, and even in the playoffs, just to take them out that first round. And
I think any time you beat Strongsville in anything, I think it's important for our school. It's just become a great rivalry, and I don't know, Strongsville's been down a little bit in the past with basketball, but we saw the first time we played in 76-75 in double overtime, and throw the records out the window when you play those schools. So that's still our rival. Everyone wants to talk about Medina, and that is a county rivalry, but Strongsville is the rivalry, and I think that's the first time I know in my 18 years we've ever beaten them 3 times in a season. So it was nice, but they'll be aiming for us next year. They got a lot of guys back, and we've beaten them, I think, 6 or 7 times in a row now. So can only imagine what that first contest will be next year.
It's always a great atmosphere, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is a great atmosphere, that's for sure.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming on our show and talking with us today, and we'll be talking with you hopefully before next season, so we can maybe preview the team and the schedule and everything like that next week.
Yeah, you guys could be like ESPN, do your show right from our gym.
That's right.
Let's do it.
We still need to do that. That would be a blast.
Brent. Get that organized.
Let's go, Brent. You're sleeping over there at the wheel. Let's go.
Sorry, guys. Got a lot going
Coach,
on.
we appreciate your
All
time.
right, guys.
Thanks for
having
coming
me.
on.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We're Sports on Tap. Go to Podomatic and listen to all of our podcasts, or go to iTunes where you can subscribe to all of our iTunes. I'm Rob Troutman for Josh Sheffy and Brett Barczyk. We'll see you on the next podcast.